Okay guys, so let's now talk about the domain and range, right? The domain and range parabola. I don't know whether it's called range. Okay, so let's forget about that one. For the domain for parabola, always x is the element of real numbers, or you can just say the negative infinity to positive infinity, right? And for range guys, range okay, let me write this down. Range is the y coordinate. Range is the y coordinate of the turning point, right? And we know that. How do we calculate the y coordinate? As such, you can use this format, which y is equals to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. And if you are not comfortable with this formula, you know how to find the y coordinate of the turning point from the previous video, right? Where we're talking about how to determine the turning point. So this is the formula. If you're familiar, if you're comfortable of using it, don't forget the sign and everything there. So like I said, range is the y coordinate of the turning point. So how do we write range? Yes, how we write range. Y is the element of real numbers, and y is greater than or equals to q. This only if a is positive. If a is positive, okay. If a is positive, then you can say y is greater than or equals to q. But then if a is negative, therefore you're going to say y is less than or equals to q. Therefore, if a is negative, okay, right? So, like I said, y is the range is the y coordinate of the turning point, right? We know that. What is this q? We know that this q, guys, is represented by what? Okay, guys, I was supposed to write q here. Sorry for that. You can see y or q. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But let's use q so that you can see that it's the y coordinate of the turning point, right? So meaning, let's say you are given an example. Let's do the example so that you can understand. The first example, let's say we have minus x squared plus 2. Okay, y is equals to minus x squared plus 2, and then you're instructed to find the domain and range. Then you're instructed to find the domain and the range, right? Therefore, we know that domain always for parabola, x is the element of real numbers. What about the range? The first thing that we check is the sign of the coefficient of x squared. And then if we check our x squared or a, we check the sign of a, which is the coefficient of x squared. It's negative, right? So meaning we're going to use y is, therefore our, should I call it a sort of like a symbol of like an elbow into it, like that? It has to go to the negatives, right? Which y is less than or equals to has to go, yeah. Just to be y is equals to or less than. Therefore, y is equals to or less than. Why this? Because of our a, which is negative here. it's negative. That's why we're saying y is less than or equals to. Therefore, what is q? Our q here, it is the y coordinate of the turning point, which is 2, right? Or if you're not sure about it, you can use this formula first. You can say y is equals to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a, right? Therefore, we know that what is a? Our a is -1, guys. Therefore, what is b? Our b, we don't have b. Remember, b is the coefficient of x, right? We don't have b here. And you can also check by this one. We don't have this one, bx. We only have ax squared plus c. Therefore, meaning our it's c here, guys, which is supposed to be 2. Sorry for that. And then minus our b, like I said, we don't have it, which is squared divided by 4 is 2 a. Then your answer is going to give you 2. As your y is equals to 2, then you're going to say range y is less than or equals to, because our a is negative, therefore write this one, the value that you got, which is 2, right? Okay, for the second one, example 2. Example 2, let's say we have x squared plus 4x minus 1 plus 4x minus 1. Then you are instructed to calculate the domain and the range. Yeah. Always we know that domain x is the element of real numbers, right? What about the range? We know that y is the element of real numbers, but y, then we check what is our sign. It's positive. Our a is positive here, greater than. Therefore, what is the y coordinate of the turning point? If you didn't calculate it, you can now calculate it using what? This format. Then you can say aside y is equals to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a, right? Therefore, we're going to have 4 into our a is 1, 4a. Our a is 1, what is our c? It's -1 minus our b is 4 all squared all over 4 is to 1. Therefore, if you can plug this on your calculator, you're going to find that your y is equals to -5, right? As our y is equals to -5, then we come here. Therefore, it means our range is going to be y is greater than or equals to -5, guys. Then we are done with the domain and range. This is how we determine the domain and range. Meaning, whenever they want you to calculate the domain, let's talk about the range. Whenever they want you to calculate the range on parabola, they want you to calculate you need to calculate the y coordinate of what? Of the turning point. This is the formula. This is the formula of calculating the y coordinate of the turning point. If you can go through those examples we did for the turning points, you'll see that this is the formula. Or if you don't want to use this one, you know that after finding the x value, then after finding the x value of the turning point, you can plug it on your original equation, and then you'll find the y coordinate of the turning point, and that's what they want. Then you check your a. If your a is positive, therefore y is greater than or equals to. If your a is less than, is negative, then it's going to be less than or equals to, right? Then we are done with the domain and range of the parabola functions.